very much, Eric. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 16th. This is the meeting of the Seattle City Council. It will now come to order. The time is 2:02. I'm Deborah Juarez. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Morales,
Here.
Councilmember Mosqueda,
Present.
Councilmember Nelson,
Present.
Councilmember Peterson,
Present.
Councilmember Sawant,
Present.
Councilmember Strauss,
Present.
Councilmember Herbold,
Here.
Councilmember Lewis,
Present.
and Council President Juarez.
Present.
9 present.
Thank you. Moving on to our agenda to presentations. There are no presentations today. Moving on to public comment. My understanding is that we have one individual in chambers and 2 who have called in. Madam Clerk, since we will do the individual in chambers first, and every speaker will have 2 minutes. And before we begin, I want to remind everybody that there are rules of decorum in City Hall, and there will be no disrespectful or comments regarding people's race, gender. Hopefully, people will follow the rules today. If you will not follow the rules, you will be asked to leave. Please speak to the items on the agenda. There are 3 items on today's agenda. And again, Madam Clerk, each speaker will have 2 minutes, and we will start with the in-person folks first. And I will hand over the instructions again on how to behave at City Hall. With that, Madam Clerk, can you begin the recording?
I need a couple of seconds, Council President, but I will
Sure.
play as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just a reminder too, for the folks that have called in, you will hear a beep when you have 10 seconds. So please be mindful of the beep because we hate cutting you off if you're still speaking. And it's *6 when your turn comes to unmute and provide your public comment to the 3 items on today's agenda. And with that, I will wait till the clerk tells us we're ready to go.
Hello, Seattle. We are the Emerald City, the city of flowers and the city of goodwill, built on indigenous land, the traditional territory of the Coast Salish peoples. The Seattle City Council welcomes remote public comment and is eager to hear from residents of our city. If you would like to be a speaker and provide a verbal public comment, you may register 2 hours prior to the meeting via the Seattle City Council website. Here's some information about the public comment proceedings. Speakers are called upon in the order in which they registered on the council's website. Each speaker must call in from the phone number provided when they registered online and use the meeting ID and passcode that was emailed upon confirmation. If you did not receive an email confirmation, please check your spam or junk mail folders. A reminder, the speaker meeting ID is different from the general listen line meeting ID provided on the agenda. Once a speaker's name is called, the speaker's microphone will be unmuted and an automatic prompt will say, "The host would like you to unmute your microphone." That is your cue that it's your turn to speak. At that time, you must press *6. You will then hear a prompt of, "You are unmuted." Be sure your phone is unmuted on your end so that you will be heard. As a speaker, you should begin by stating your name and the item that you are addressing. A chime will sound when 10 seconds are left in your allotted time, as a gentle reminder to wrap up your public comments. At the end of the allotted time, your microphone will be muted and the next speaker registered will be called. Once speakers have completed providing public comment, please disconnect from the public comment line and join us by following the meeting via Seattle Channel broadcast or through the listening line option listed on the agenda. The Council reserves the right to eliminate public comment if the system is being abused, or if the process impedes the Council's ability to conduct its business on behalf of residents of the city. Any offensive language that is disruptive to these proceedings or that is not focused on an appropriate topic as specified in Council rules may lead to the speaker being muted by the presiding officer. Our hope is to provide an opportunity for productive discussions that will assist our orderly consideration of issues before the Council. The public comment period is now open, and we will begin with the first speaker on the list. Please remember to press *6 after you hear the prompt of "You have been unmuted." Thank you, Seattle.
Our first speaker is Alex Zimmerman.
Damn Nazi Gestapo pig from Animal Farm. My name is Alex Zimmerman, and I want to speak about agenda number 3. About memorandum, about Memorial Stadium, you know what it means. What is will be involved Seattle Public School. Situation so idiotic, so I cannot understand how is this possible. School supposed to be give money for stadium. They, for my understanding, have something debt more than $50 million. In children right now, a nightmare. Is this exactly happened? They touch small children from 6 to 10. And I talk about this for last year many times. I don't understand how they can give money for stadium when they have $50+ million debt. You don't know what it's doing. It's so interesting. So council here, a pure crook, you know what it means. We have Amazon, a corporation with $1 trillion. Is they do, Amazon cannot give money to children, to baby, to 55,000 children who totally destroy. And school, council, you know what it means. In school council, they're pure freaking idiot. And I talked to them many times before they give me trespass for 6 months. It's exactly what is we have right now. We have rich city with $120,000 average salary, more rich city in America. If we cut money for us, baby, who are you? You by definition are mentally sick. And I told you 1,000 times before, you are psychopath. You know, only psychopath can do in this. I cannot find another way. Stand up, America, clean this dirty chamber from this psychopath.
Our next speaker is Howard Gale.
Good afternoon. Howard Gale speaking on police accountability, part of the 2023 Council Work Plan. After this council passed the 2017 Police Accountability Ordinance, the SPD went on to kill 15 more people. Over half of those people, 9 to be exact, had either no weapon in their hand when killed or were experiencing a severe behavioral health crisis while wielding a knife. Our accountability system deemed every one of these killings, quote, lawful and proper, unquote, even when officers violated SPD policy and training. The SPD has killed more people in the years after the start of the consent decree when compared to the same period of time prior. During 2020, we witnessed unprecedented levels of violence and brutality by the SPD when folks came out to advocate for justice with no accountability for the many dozens of officers that participated in that violence. 13 years after the SPD murder of John T. Williams, we still have police investigating police and a complete failure of accountability. Just 3 months ago, we watched the SPD aggressively confront and point assault rifles at a black teen on Capitol Hill. This could have ended in tragedy if it wasn't for the direct intervention of people on the street that stepped forward to protect him. It wasn't Seattle's accountability system that protected him, it was regular folks on the street. Yet the city is now proclaiming the SPD a transformed organization that no longer needs federal oversight. How did we get here? Today, you will confirm a new Community Police Commission member, and that gives us a clue. You will appoint a police officer despite this council never having appointed in over 10 years a single victim of police violence. Let me repeat that. In over 10 years, this council has not appointed to the Community Police Commission a single victim of SPD violence. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kirk Robbins.
Mr. Robbins?
You might try *6, Mr. Robbins.
Mr. Robbins, we can see your tile up here. If you push *6, you can unmute yourself and we can hear you. Right now, we can't hear you. Is Mr. Robbins our last speaker? Yes.
He is.
Okay, I hate to, especially if he's still on the line. Is she gone?
He looks like he dropped off.
I think he dropped off. All right. Okay, that's unfortunate. Hopefully, Mr. Robbins can send in some comments or return. So we'll try that again. And so, Madam Clerk, my understanding is we have no individuals left for public comment.
Correct.
Thank you. With that, public comment is now closed. Moving on to our agenda, there's no objection. The introduction and referral calendar is adopted. Hearing no objection, the introduction referral calendar is adopted. Moving on to the the adoption of today's agenda. Today's agenda will be adopted. Hearing no objection, today's agenda is adopted. Moving on to the consent calendar. Let's see, this is what is on the consent calendar today. We have the minutes from May 9th. We have council bill, payroll bill 120575. And we have one appointment from the Public Safety and Human Services Committee, which is Councilmember Herbal's committee, to the Community Police Commission. With that, are there any items that any council member would like to remove from the consent calendar? Not seeing any. I move to adopt, or not hearing or seeing any. I move to adopt the consent calendar. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to adopt this consent calendar. Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the consent calendar?
Councilmember Morales,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosqueda,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Sawant,
yes,
Councilmember Strauss,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbold,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
and Council President Juarez.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you. The consent calendar is adopted. Madam Clerk, please affix my signature to the consent calendar on my behalf. So moving on to committee reports, as I shared earlier, we have 3 items today. And our first item is on the Economic Development, Technology, and City Light Committee, which is item number 1. Madam Clerk, can you please read item number 1 into the record?
Report of the Economic Development, Technology, and City Light Committee. Agenda item 1, Council Bill 120556, relating to the City Light Department, authorizing the transfer of certain funds in the light fund into the rate stabilization account in 2023 and superseding certain provisions of subsection 21.49.06.e of the Seattle Municipal Code. The committee recommends that City Council pass the council bill.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you very much. Well, as the members of the Economic Development, Technology, and City Light Committee know, City Light has implemented several measures to improve the planning and ensure the long-term availability of energy resources for ratepayers. But sometimes City Light still has to react to unforeseen circumstances in the short term. When net wholesale revenues from power sales comes up short, City Light reacts according to the Seattle Municipal Code provisions for the Rate Stabilization Act, RSA. The RSA is the reserve that City Light draws from to make up shortfalls in net wholesale revenue. Now, net wholesale revenue can be volatile, and it usually depends on weather conditions. So when the RSA balance falls below certain levels, modest rate changes on ratepayers automatically kick in to replenish the account. This structure has worked well in the past to prevent wide swings in what ratepayers may need to pay. But right now it's not necessary because City Light has extra cash on hand in its light fund from higher than anticipated retail revenue. So this bill allows City Light to use that extra cash to replenish the RSA, so we don't have to ask the ratepayers to do it through a surcharge. So that is what this, essentially what this legislation will allow City Light to do. And this bill passed the committee unanimously.
Thank you, Councilmember Nelson. Are there any comments from like our colleagues regarding this council bill? Not seeing any, and I'm guessing Councilmember Nelson, you've wrapped up your comments.
I have no further comments.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of the bill?
Councilmember Morales,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosqueda,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Peterson,
Aye.
Councilmember Sawant,
Yes.
Strauss,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbold,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
and Council President Juarez.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you. The bill passes. The chair will sign it. Madam Clerk, please affix my signature to the bill. Moving on to item number 2. Madam Clerk, please read item number 2 to the record.
Report of the Public Safety and Human Services Committee, Agenda Item 2, Council Bill 120560, relating to appropriations for the Human Services Department, amending Ordinance 126725, which adopted the 2023 budget, lifting a proviso and ratifying and confirming certain prior acts. The committee recommends that City Council pass the council bill.
Thank you. Councilmember Herbold.
Thank you so much. This legislation lifts a proviso in the 2023 adopted budget related to therapeutic services for women who have experienced sexual exploitation. The proviso, HSD 02A002, was sponsored by Madam President during the budget consideration last fall. Annie Lee, the interim deputy director of the Human Services Department, joined us at the May 9th Public Safety and Human Services Committee to present the legislation, and in doing so, she affirmed that the conditions of the proviso have been met, namely that awards for the gender-based violence survivor services RFP were announced in December 2022. Some more detail about the planned use of the funds. If the proviso is in fact lifted by our vote today, the Human Services Department will contract funds with Aurora Commons to support the She Clinic, a regular mobile health clinic for women on Aurora Avenue facing homelessness, drug dependence, violence, and commercial exploitation. The clinic provides low barrier drop-in space, multidisciplinary healthcare, behavioral health services, including mental health care, substance use counseling, and life skills, on-site community advocates that provide crisis intervention, support, and connection to medical and therapeutic services, and also emotional support and information about resources. I want to thank the Human Services Department for preparing the legislation, and Public Safety and Human Services Committee members for your review, and of course, to Madam President for the proviso itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Herbold. I just want to add to it. I don't know if you said this, and I apologize if you did, that the She Clinic stands for Safe, Healthy, Empowered. And it's a partnership between Aurora Commons and Harborview Medical Center. The clinic is currently supported by the Washington State Department of Health, the City of Seattle, and Pacific Hospital Preservation and Development Authority. Just a few other notes, because I know we can't all remember what we agreed to last fall, and thank you for getting this through, shepherding it through, Madam or Councilmember Herbold. Aurora Commons serves around 400 women per year. And as you stated, Aurora Commons provides a welcoming space for victims and survivors of gender-based violence, including sexual assault, domestic violence, and those involved in the sex trade, particularly women and girls who are victims of human trafficking. No other organization has fostered the community trust necessary to reach this particular population. And I again want to thank you, Councilmember Herbold, because you've been, since I've worked with you, this has been a priority of yours in your committee on these issues regarding women, domestic violence, sex trafficking, and getting the money out the door to these organizations that provide that community support. So thank you. Is there any other comments before we move on? Besides you, Councilmember Herbold? You good? Okay, you're good. All right. So will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of the bill?
Councilmember Morales,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosqueda,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Peterson,
Aye.
Councilmember Sawant,
Yes.
Councilmember Strauss,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbold,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
and Council President Juarez.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you. The bill passes and the chair will sign it. And Madam Clerk, again, please affix my signature to this legislation on my behalf. Let's move on to item number 3.
Report of the Governance, Native Communities and Tribal Governments Committee, Agenda Item 3, Resolution 32092, establishing the city's support for a new memorial stadium at Seattle Center to be developed through a public-private partnership between the City of Seattle, Seattle Public Schools, and a private partner. The committee recommends that City Council adopt the resolution.
Thank you. I will address this item. This is in our committee, and mainly because we've been working on this since at least 2016. City's probably been working on it for almost 30 years. I want to give a little bit of background after our committee hearing yesterday morning. This is the work to redevelop the 75-year-old Memorial Stadium, which started years ago. It includes a number of agreements between the city and the school district, as well as funding commitments. I'd like to remind you a few of these milestones. Starting in 2017, we did the partnership agreement. In 2021, we did the letter of intent. And then, of course, as you remember, in February 2022, the voters passed the school district levy, which included $66.5 million in funding for the replacement of the stadium. And that passed by 80% of the voters. In November 2022, we did a memorandum of agreement. It was actually executed and done. In November 2022, the City Council approved $21 million investment in the project as part of the 2023 budget. Thank you, Councilmember Lewis, for securing that and making sure that that stayed in the budget. And more recently, the request for proposals that was issued on March 20th, 23 of this year. The deadline for responding to the RFP was May 2nd, which was Tuesday. As has been reported publicly, 2 proposals were submitted and are now being considered. We understand that the executive's goal is to select a winning proposer by May 22nd. Again, I want to emphasize that no elected officials serve on the evaluation committee, but some council staff, one council staff is participating, and that's Brian Goodnight, who was in our committee yesterday to answer questions as well and provided the memo. For those who aren't familiar with the relationship between the city and the school district, the footprint for Seattle Center is about 72 acres and 10 to 11 acres is a school district property. Seattle Schools will be the primary beneficiary of the redevelopment, although the project will also contribute to the economic, cultural, and social vitality of our city, including specifically Seattle Center and adjacent neighborhoods such as Belltown, South Lake Union, Uptown, and Greater Downtown. So we're trying to, with this resolution, set up the schedule, but also emphasize that the public benefits are not just concentrated on Seattle Public School property, but also flow to the Seattle Center campus as well. Yesterday, you should have all received, after our committee hearing, a memo from the from Seattle Center, from our friend Marshall there. And the memo, which outlines the recent history of the project, the RFP process, the implementing agreements in the legislative process, the public funding for the project, as well as the community stakeholders, which include the 16-member RFP advisory panel, those are the voting folks, and then the 15-member non-voting advisors, in which our own Brian Goodnight is a part of. So that memo went out yesterday, I think around 3, you should have all gotten it. And we requested that from the waterfront to bring everybody up to speed, because some of us have been working on this a while and are very familiar with the facts. Wanted to make sure that colleagues understood that their vote today means that we will support this resolution to move forward with a partnership with Seattle Public Schools and also some private partner, whenever they select them, to help us secure the best expertise available for redeveloping Memorial Stadium. If you look at that 3-4 page memorandum in the attachment, you will see that some of the same players in minds that were involved when we did the Seattle Arena are also involved as experts in these kind of major capital projects with as of course, our partner here is Seattle Public Schools. This is not a city asset, it's a Seattle Public School asset. However, Seattle Center is a Seattle public asset, but again, we're focusing on the property of Seattle Public Schools. So with that, I see that Councilor Lewis has his hand up.
Council President, thank you so much. And thank you for your leadership on this during almost your entire tenure as a member of this council, and really excited to be here today to vote on final passage of this resolution. I've talked quite extensively in our budget process and in other hearings about Memorial Stadium and my connections to the Seattle Center campus, not just as the current Seattle City Council member who represents the Seattle Center campus, but as someone who went to high school on that campus and has seen significant change over the course of the past 20 years at Seattle Center, where we have entered into landmark new partnerships on Climate Pledge Arena, on the Northwest Rooms, a new home for KEXP, the Chihuly Glass Museum. Really, the last sore thumb on that campus is our aging and falling apart Memorial Stadium, which should be a place of reverence, of recreation, and a future gathering place for the people of Seattle for years to come. This proposal today takes that next step. Was very proud to work with the council president and with our budget chair, Councilmember Mosqueda, last fall to make sure that the pieces for the city's contribution were in place to move this forward. And really looking forward to the World Cup later this decade, where this will be a place for programming and for participation in the festivities around being a host for that great event. So thank you so much, and looking forward to voting in favor of this.
Thank you.
And I would be remiss, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out here in open session to the leadership of Director Nellums, former Director Nellums, in advancing this critical legacy item throughout his career in leadership. I'm sure he's watching or will watch these remarks later, but this is also due in great credit to his leadership in moving this forward. And I'm glad we could get this done in recognition of his achievement as well.
Thank you, Councilmember Lewis. And again, I think I did share that I thanked you during the budget process, and Councilmember Mosqueda for maintaining, as you saw in the resolution itself, the funding and how we would, what the costs were and how they're going to lay out a financing plan. And that is all to be just to happen later on. The resolution just says that we are resolute in this process and working with the executive and the Seattle Public School. Whoever is selected, whoever's selected or whatever choices they come down to, Mayor Harrell and the superintendent of Seattle Public Schools will make the final decision. And then, of course, everything after that will have to come through City Council. And let's see, did I forget to thank anyone else? Did I thank Councilmember Mosqueda? Oh, Councilmember Swan.
Thank you, President Juarez. Like in the committee yesterday, I will be voting no on this resolution, which advocates for a public-private partnership to be used for the redevelopment of Memorial Stadium. As I said yesterday, this is not in any way an opposition to investments in Memorial Stadium. In fact, one of the budget cuts I explicitly objected to during the budget deliberations last November was the proposed cut to the Memorial Stadium redevelopment capital improvements. At the time, I argued that Seattle should be taxing big business rather than cutting critical infrastructure investments. I proposed to increase the tax rate of the Amazon tax to restore that and other funding. Unfortunately, the majority of the council did not agree, and now we are presented with the proposal to seek a public-private partnership. In other words, rather than taxing the biggest corporations in the world to fund public needs, the Democratic political establishment in Seattle is proposing to essentially sell off the access to public resources to the very corporations they refuse to tax. And this is the overwhelming overwhelming history of public-private partnerships around the world, where the public pays and the private corporations enjoy the profits. There are no details of what this public-private partnership contract would entail, because this resolution is simply agreeing to look for an agreement rather than presenting the terms. However, there are many ways that a for-profit corporation could profit at the expense of regular working people in Seattle through this so-called partnership. Tickets and concessions could be could become prohibitively expensive, as has been the trend in stadiums around the country. And Seattle Public Schools could sign away their access to a sports field that could become a real resource for the school district. Again, we do not have any details yet, but the history of public-private partnerships around the world gives me no confidence in this approach. Instead, Seattle should increase taxes on big business and use those resources to renovate Memorial Stadium with 100% focus on the public good rather than the profits of investors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Sawant. Councilmember Peterson.
Thank you. Actually, we're having technical difficulties with Zoom. I believe Councilmember Strauss wants to be recognized.
Thank
Oh.
you for the alley-oop.
Oh, you're raising his hand for your colleague.
It's teamwork over here on the dais. Colleagues working well together.
Wow, that's
Council President, thank you for the opportunity to share some remarks. This is very similar to what I said yesterday. This resolution before us has been in the works for so many years. I think when I came to work for Councilmember Bagshot, it felt like it was 5 to 10 years into the works at that point, and that was 5 years ago. This collaboration is between the city of Seattle, the school district, and now we are inviting private partners to help us rebuild the final portion of the Seattle Center campus. And this is complicated work. We have tried many different times in many different ways. And I really appreciate, Council President, you bringing forward the timeline, because I know if I had not had this history with this project, I might think that this was coming out of nowhere, that this was new. This has been in the works for nearly a decade. And I really want to commend former council president and former interim mayor Tim Burgess for his work on this, getting this across the finish line. We are embarking in the final part of the transformation of Seattle Center campus. And this resolution is really important to make that happen. I'm just really excited that we're finally here today. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Like I said, the Memorial Stadium is 75 years old, and it's time that we actually I actually think Mr. Burgess is older than Memorial Stadium. But I'll let that go. Anyway, if there are any more comments. All right, not seeing any. Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the resolution?
Councilmember Morales,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosqueda,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Peterson,
Aye.
Councilmember Sawant,
No.
Councilmember Strauss,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbold,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
and Council President Juarez.
Aye,
8 in favor, 1 opposed.
thank you. The resolution is adopted. The chair will sign it. And again, Madam Clerk, will you please affix my signature to the resolution legislation on my behalf? So I think that those are our 3 items from the committee reports. Moving on to the agenda. There were no items removed from the consent calendar, and I am aware of no other resolutions for the introduction and adoption today. Let's see, other business. My other business is, if there's no objection, I would like to be excused from city council meeting on May 23rd and May 30th. Is anyone objecting to me being gone those 2 dates? Oh, Councilmember Lewis, your hand is up. I don't think you're objecting.
Not to object, Council President, to be
Oh, okay.
recognized next. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. I'm like, what? Okay, so hearing no objection, I'm excused from these meetings. Okay, Councilmember Lewis.
Thank you, Council President. I know we don't have to formally request to be excused from council briefing, but I do want to put on the record in open session that that I will not be at the Monday, May 22nd council briefing, though I do intend to be at the full council on May 23rd. But if we do have to formally ask if I need to be excused from briefing, I guess this would be the time I would ask if there's objection, but I don't think the rules require it.
Thank you. Councilmember Sawant.
Thank you, President Juarez. I would like to be excused. I would like to move to be excused from City Council meeting on May 23rd, 2023.
If there's no objection, Councilor Sawant, what was that date again?
May 23rd.
Yeah, okay, thank you. If there's no objection, Councilmember Sawant would like to be excused from May 23rd. Not seeing any objection, Councilmember Sawant, you are excused from that date. Let's see what else we got in here. All right, I think we're ready. Oh, Councilmember Mosqueda, I'm sorry, did not see your hand. Councilmember Mosqueda?
Thank you, Council President. I want to be proactive here for the month of June. I'd like to be excused from full council on June 27th.
All right. I was just gonna say it my way, like, does anyone have a problem with Councilmember Mosqueda being gone, but I'll do it the right way. If there is no objection, Councilmember Mosqueda would like to be excused on June 27th, correct?
Correct.
Okay, not hearing or seeing any objection, you are indeed excused on June 27th, Councilmember Mosqueda.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Council President,
Yes,
Councilmember Strauss here on the dais. Just wanted to invite all colleagues and everyone in the city of Seattle to join us in Ballard tomorrow for Norwegian Constitution Day. It is in the Mai. This is it's a really important event. It really marks the day that Norway received its constitution. This is not Independence Day. This is celebrating the Constitution, and it's even more important after during World War II Nazi occupation of Norway. This is a day where we celebrate Norway's freedom through its written constitution. We have a great parade. We've got lunch. We've got a lot of activities. We'd love to see you down there.
what time?
It happens all day. So there's lunch at noon. There are activities at Bergen Place. Bergen is the sister city of Seattle, Bergen in Norway. And we have events all afternoon. The parade starts at 6. It runs to about 8. And it's always an exciting time. So bring your bunad, come dressed in a suit, come dressed, it's going to be hot, come dressed however you want. We'd love to have you down there.
I want to know what kind of food you're having.
Lefse
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
and salmon.
Okay, then I'll be there.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Strauss. Colleagues, that does conclude today's business on our agenda. The next regularly scheduled city council meeting will be held on May 23rd. Thank you all. We are adjourned.